Hey YouTube, this is Eric, aka The Game Nerd. I want to share with you tonight my Atari flashback collection. Then I want to share with you some of the Atari games that I have. Then I want to share with you, obviously, my Ataris. So, just to jump right into it, as you can see here, two Atari Flashback 2600s. Both of them are still in really good condition. You got your power button, your reset, difficulty, left and right. And then your select, you've got your plug-ins for your controllers, and then you have your color, your black and white, which is pretty cool because that way it kind of gives you that nostalgic feeling if you want to play it in black and white, or you could be a little bit more up to date and play it in color. So now both of these 2600s that I have, neither of them have actually been converted over to be able to play 2600 games on them, but they do come equipped with 40 games to begin with. So that in itself is quite enough, because everybody's probably played the 40 games that are on here, so there's no reason to modify it so you can play the other games on here, especially if you already own an Atari. So like I said, two of these, both awesome condition, fantastic Atari Flashback 2s. If you have a chance to grab them, I would definitely pick 1 up or 2 up, however many. I just wasn't able to find them in a box. So one I was able to find in a box was actually the Atari Flashback, the original one. This is a 7800. This one here came equipped with 20 games on it, which is pretty cool. Probably one of the funnest games on here, I would have to say, probably is Battlezone. That's a fantastic game. So let me go ahead and open this guy right up. You got your plastic, you have your advertisements, then you have your owner's manual, which is pretty cool, all the original owner's manual. Then, if everybody remembers how large the 7800 was, about the size of, let's say, a 1984 VCR. Yeah, they shrank it down. Now, only if it could have been this big when it originally came out. But that wouldn't have been possible because as the Angry Video Game Nerd showed us, and you couldn't hide your beer in it. So, anyways, yeah, it's pretty cool. So, and you have your controllers here. These will actually plug in, and you can, a little bit of a mess, but yeah, you can plug them, flip it over here real quick, oop, right in. You can go ahead and you can play it old school. These work on everything. You can also plug your Genesis controllers in. So there's my Atari Flashback collection. It's not, obviously the flashbacks are pretty easy to collect, there's only 2 of them. So now I just need to get one of these in a box, and then I can sell those 2. So I'd be pretty happy with that. Moving on, once I get this in here, I'm going to go over my Atari games here real quick. I have, let's see here, Space Invaders, Towering Inferno, Haunted House, Football, Brain Games, Laser Blaster, got 2 of these, Air Sea Battle, Warlords. If everybody remembers, it's kind of like the bouncing ball. It's kind of like Pong, but 4-player. It's very interesting. It's nothing like what they show on the cover. Nothing. But it's not a bad game. It's a good game. I have Adventure, which is pretty fun. Let's see here. Street Racer. There's actually Street Racer on the Atari Flashback 2. It's actually a lot of fun. If you can get a hold of one of these, I would definitely recommend it. Then I have Missile Command. Both the graphics on the front are actually in really good condition for as old as they are, and they still have the tabs on them, so that's really cool. Combat. Then the last 2, probably some of the most popular games on here. You have Asteroids, then Yar's Revenge. So I know I've heard a lot about Yar's Revenge. I played it. I'm just going to leave it at that. So moving on to my actual Ataris. Now the Ataris that I have, one of them is just a normal everyday Atari. The other one, we'll get to that. See, this one right here is a standard CX 2600 Atari. If you have your 4 chrome switches on here, you pop your game in, you've got on and off, color, black and white, you know, game select, then game reset. On the back here, you can choose your difficulty level, plug in your controllers, and then you can choose your channel 2 and 3. You know, just a standard. It's pretty light Atari. This came out in the 80s. This was the normal Atari for the 1980s. So obviously, here are some of the controllers. You know, these are actually in really good condition. I pretty much keep my Atari stuff away from the rest of my collection. I kind of segregate them just because, well, there's not really enough room in the rest of my collection, so I have to segregate them because I mean these things are big. They take a lot of room. So the one that I really wanted to show you tonight was this. Wow. Was this? This is an Atari. It says CX 2600 as well, except this particular model here I actually found out, which I was really excited about, is actually a SUNNYVALE California edition, and I'll show you here in a minute. But one of the things that makes this a heavy sixer is actually the plastic on the back. Not quite the same, if you can see it. This is actually a much thicker plastic, has a lot more screws on it than the standard 2600. Has a lot more screws, has more RF shielding inside. Has a lot more RF shielding inside. You can tell by the back if you can see it too. The other thing here that I want to show you, just give me a second here as I come around. I actually want to show you the actual SUNNYVALE and the serial number. This is a true heavy sixer, and I am really, really happy because I actually thought that this was going to be just a standard Atari. So when I found out that I actually had a heavy sixer in my collection, I almost jumped up and down. I had to make a video. I had to show everybody because I've only seen 2 of these, and I think and those were on eBay. So I haven't really seen any of them in person. Most of the Ataris I see are these things. Like, so I picked this thing up at a garage sale, the standard 2600. I think I paid $1/4 for this thing. But this one here, yeah, I'm gonna have to clean it up because, you know, like I said, I keep them away from the rest of my collection, kind of up in the closet. So this is actually going to be my new showpiece. So I'm very excited to actually welcome this into my new collection. I'm going to go ahead and put it in there. I'm really excited. So that's pretty much it for this video, YouTube. So we will see you again. So have a good night.